Good afternoon and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I have a recipe for popcorn seasoning, and they sat there in it and read that you need cheddar cheese powder. Now, I went and looked up cheddar cheese powder, and then I looked up to see what was in it. It has disodium phosphate. Now, they say that this enhances the flavor of foods, but it's used to protect contamination and decay of foods and cosmetics, so they last longer. So they call it a preservative. Now, it used to be made with urine and bone, which is natural, but now it's made from sodium and rock phosphorus. Okay, and they grind it up. Now, in some vegetables and wheat products, this is very natural because it comes from the ground, the natural one. Now, they say in high dosages, it can link to heart disease, and people with kidney diseases are really at a high risk. Now, if phosphorus gets way up there and you get too much of this in your system, this disodium phosphate, do you know what it does? It decalcifies your body. That means your bones get brittle. You end up with arthritis, joint pains, and things like that. How many people have that? How many people have kidney disease? How many people have heart disease? Just thinking. So I have to weigh in if I want to use this cheddar cheese powder or not. I don't use a lot of processed foods, and I'm moving further and further and further away from them, and I spend more time in the kitchen trying to protect the health of my family. I saw what it did to my husband, so I'm very leery about, and they say if you take medication, it's really bad. And if you eat a lot of processed foods with high calories, that's where you get the high levels of the disodium phosphate, which draws the calcium out, gives you heart disease and kidney problems. How many people have these problems? A whole bunch of people do. So, and our Food and Drug Administration is supposed to protect the American people. This is another thing that upsets me. They are, a lot of the drugs that you see today, in the 1950s, they were considered dangerous, and they wouldn't even give you this medicine because it was that dangerous. So they put it on the shelf and said, no, we're not touching this. They're pulling, all this new medicine that you see, they knew in the 1950s how dangerous they were, and they're using them. So they're not carrying, and the government gives them permission to get this stuff into our food, just like they sat there and took folic acid out because the doctor said our antibiotics aren't working, so you have to take it out. So they took it out, and then they found out they had problems. So then they had to put it back, so they put it in a low dosage so antibiotics could work. Now, folic acid is a natural antibiotic. If you have a high folic acid, you can't get sick. If I end up with a problem, I sit there and I take a lot of vitamin C with bioflavonoids, and I make sure that I eat the bone marrow, and I cook the bone marrows into my things, because I know the bone marrow is where the folic acid is, because I keep on taking it out. And if you need 5 milligrams of folic acid, you would have to take 50 tabs a day to 100 because they put such a low dosage in it. But if you go to other countries, you can pick up 5 milligrams, 10, 15, 20. They don't care. They know that it builds RNA and DNA in the body. And newborns need the RNA and DNA for the fetus to grow. So I don't trust, a lot of people don't trust the Food and Drug Administration anymore. I'm becoming one of those people as well. So I know that this is not good, but I'm bringing the disodium phosphate to you to understand that if you have these problems, and I know if your phosphorus is high, you throw calcium out. But they say you only get high levels if you use processed food with high calories. How many people eat processed food? How many people just heat things up? Listen, I get short videos running through my Instagram, and everybody's using processed food. They don't make it. So if you family ends up with heart disease or kidney problems and stuff like this, you have to realize what it does to your body. I'm just going to bring it to you and you can do what you want. But I think somebody has to go out and say, hey, I want you to know about this. Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to use the popcorn thing yet or not. I have to think about this one. If I do, I'll be very careful that we use very little of it. Okay, so listen, you have a wonderful evening and take care. Bye-bye.